This is this is gonna be a risky video, Greg. I mean, there's more people that are gonna disagree with us than agree with us.
That's fine.
What's up, guys? Alex and
Greg.
here from After Work Nerd Out. You know what, Greg?
What's up?
I think this is gonna be our first pretty much official podcast because this is a topic we talk about this all the time, so many times, man.
And we keep saying we don't want to make these videos like this.
We don't want to we want to have fun. We want to just go out and just screw around and just, me get my ass spanked by Mario and want to have fun. But man, people are really ruining that lately. All right. This is it's a long video. We're going to have a lot of visuals. Obviously, you're watching on YouTube because we're not releasing this anywhere else. I do encourage you to watch on video because we're going to have images and stuff that we're talking about. Otherwise, you can just throw on your headphones and believe me, whatever we say, we're quoting it. It's going to be on screen. So there's no script. We're just improvising. This is honestly how we feel about just multi levels of gaming, card games, video games, or stuff like that. And we just figured we really wanted to sit down and talk about this because this is getting way out of control. All right, Greg. I say we start Magic the Gathering because the Magic the Gathering part is really kind of a great example as to what's wrong in general with gaming. I consider gaming everything, single thing that isn't like woodworking is basically gaming.
Well, gaming in general is supposed to be
Simulating.
an escape from the world, make you happy kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what games should be. It's never like we don't believe. We don't know. I personally don't think violence is linked to video games. I don't think we're on the side of like more honest stuff, like more honest articles and stuff. But I think gaming's biggest enemies are really the fans sometimes. Like it's a 50-50 thing. Sometimes developers definitely screw up, but sometimes the fans really screw up the developer. It's a yin and yang thing.
Is the developer makes a mistake in miswording.
Yeah.
And then the fans just take it 100%.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's done. And the company's like, oh, this is what they believe in. This is what they've been doing. And it's not.
Or they take one guy's like IGN. They always everyone attacks IGN specifically by the writers, but they don't realize IGN has staff writers and then they have freelance that come in and do that. And they'll do videos like IGN is attacking this company, but they're really not. It's just that one writer that happens to write for IGN. It's the same thing with BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed has a ton of people that don't work specifically for BuzzFeed, but are something called like contributors. If an op-ed piece comes out on a New York Times by a celebrity and you read it and you hate it and then you attack the celebrity, that's if you don't agree with it and you don't like it, you attack the celebrity. The New York Times, all they did was publish it, so this whole blaming thing with fans, it tends to get out of control, which we're going to talk about now. We're going to talk about first with Magic the Gathering, not really a quick story. It's going to be for a little bit of time. Trust me, we're not going to be talking about the card game. If you don't like Magic the Gathering, you should still watch because it applies to everything. So out where we live out in Long Island in New York. And I have a buddy of mine who's going to remain nameless. We were hanging out one night and he told me about this guy, this YouTube channel, which I've been watching. Not like a hawk. Oh, before we even start talking about him, by the way, all right. Let me get this out of the way. This is a YouTube channel called The Quartering. He is pretty well established, has almost 500,000 subscribers. Obviously, we have 89 at the time of filming. So I'll just say this now. We're not trying to chase clout. We're not, trying to...
We're not trying to grow on
plus you can accuse us
him,
of trying to get attention, but trust me, I don't want the attention of the people that watch his videos. So we're not trying to get his attention. We're just trying to address a situation that I think personally he does say a lot of things that really make the world really crappy. Sometimes he makes good points. Everybody is able to make a good point, is what I'm saying. So I will never say that everything he says is wrong. But sometimes a lot of what he says is wrong, but not everything.
What he does is he takes it all the way to the right.
Yeah. As in, I guess, right wing, would be. I really hate saying right and left wing when it comes to video games.
Well, he basically takes the point and then drives it into the point where it applies to everything.
Yeah.
He's right no matter what.
Yeah, which again, most of these people online, people online really act like they're never wrong. And that's a big issue too in general. People got to understand everybody is capable of being wrong. Problem is when it comes to opinion stuff, you really, I guess you can get out of, you can weasel your way out. I actually, what I respect most about this guy is the fact that when I watch his videos, I see how he twists words. it's very transparent to somebody like me who I grew up with very passive aggressive friends. So I've been having to read between the lines for my entire life to understand what my friends are actually saying. Like, that's just something I grew up used to. I think it's a New York thing, a Long Island thing. In New York City, everyone's like a straight up asshole to your face. But like in Long Island, for the most part, people are pretty much passive aggressive. So this guy, I just like the fact that like the things he says are so sarcastic and it's so easy. And he's such a bad actor. Basically, what he said was, out here, there was a store of, I don't want to mention the store name because the debacle is all over it. I don't really care. They got this letter that from Magic the Gathering, or WOTC, right? WOTC? What do they got here pronounced?
Wizard of the Coast.
Yeah, WOTC or whatever. Someone pronounces it weird. But they got this letter from Magic the Gathering saying their rule set. Their rule sets are as follows, or like the ideology behind Magic the Gathering. I guess they got new management, which is what usually happens, and then this new management said, let's get with the times. Let's just make sure that people, like, even though we have no association with this location, the fact that we sell our cards there, if they do something bad, they're going to tie it to us. And then we're going to be, we're going to be tied in or roped in with this whole issue, even though we have nothing to do with it.
They were doing damage control.
Pre-damage control. Because I think he said in the quartering that they didn't have anything. Everything was fine before somebody started calling. Which, like, if anything, it was more about complacency.
Yeah.
The same people went there. They weren't getting any more business, and there's just like the one time somebody that doesn't usually go there went there and saw what they saw, and they were just like, oof. But so they got these rules down. They got these sent to them. We're gonna read them real quick. The first one is put fun first. I mean, it makes sense. Fun is the point of a card. I mean, Magic the Gathering, it can be competitive at times. But I'm pretty sure, like video games, there are people that play casually and like to have fun, or even, I mean, Magic the Gathering is pretty complicated. So I imagine it's pretty good for your brain if you memorize strategies, stuff like that. I tell everybody, including my wife, the reason my brain is like really good at like crunching shit, like figuring stuff out, is because I grew up playing Pokemon, which is good for my memory, I feel, and this game called Fire Emblem, which is all about strategy and also consequence. So it had permadeath, and I wasn't a casual. I was not a casual at Fire Emblem growing up, mostly because I never knew I could just reset and get my characters back until I was like 20. So I believe that Magic the Gathering, when they said put fun first, they're like, competition is part of Magic, but win or lose, we keep it friendly, respectful, and fun. That alone, that one thing is where they probably could have stopped. Because honestly, that's just what it's all about. I mean
they basically understand that if the game isn't fun, no one's gonna buy their cards. No
competition's competition, but I mean, people want to have fun. I'm sure there are more people playing Fortnite and Apex for fun than there are competitively. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that when I play Apex, I think I got one champion win, but it was because the guy, I happened to have my mic on, and the guy was like, "Follow me." And he just killed everybody. And I just piggybacked. I wasn't proud of that win, but I got it. But I play for fun, and that's why a lot of people don't even like playing with me. People get so mad at me when I play games with them because we'll be playing a fighting game, and I dick around and still win. Because I'm pretty good at games, but I also like having fun. So a lot of people just get turned off by my attitude and stuff. But I'm just like, shut up. Like, this is about fun. Welcoming everyone. Our community includes all kinds of people. No matter who sits down at the table with us, we make them feel welcome. Again, not bad. No. Respect your play environment. We're all caretakers of Magic, and that includes the spaces we play in. Each of us helps maintain a clean and safe environment for all. Follow the rules. We comply with all local laws and event rules to foster an experience everyone can enjoy. Pretty obvious one. I think local laws were just like, it's almost like
It's basically the rules of tournaments. Certain cards are not allowed. Certain cards are.
It's like let me put this in frat guy language. It's like house rules with beer pong. Like whoever owned or whoever's hosting the party makes the rules.
Correct.
So I think that they're basically saying that, like, we want to comply with the local laws. I guess that's what it means.
Because you have different types of tournaments. You have regional tournaments. And each tournament, the higher you go, and if it's like $100,000 prize, there are going to be certain cards that aren't allowed because they're just too powerful. Yeah. If
we're wrong about this, and you want to comment down below, and you play Magic the Gathering, if you want to address that, just go ahead and do it. Don't be nasty. We really don't play Magic the Gathering. I do have a friend that does play Magic the Gathering religiously. I didn't really feel like including him in the video because he sucks. These rules seem pretty cut and dry. I mean, Can you, Greg, see anything that's really wrong with this?
No, they're pretty general. They're plain and simple and understandable.
Yeah, like they just want everybody to love games. Like they're like,
as a business, they just want to make money.
Yeah, but at the same that we're not. Yeah, you're right. We're not naive. Also, we gotta clarify that now. We're not like some people are probably in the comments by now, like, oh, the corporations don't care about us. Yeah, we know that. You know, we know that.
But they also have an understanding that if they don't make money,
yeah,
then they're out of business. So
that's how
cater to the fans somehow.
Yeah, like they don't care about like I'm gonna be honest. Like when it comes to like marketing and stuff, if you go into marketing and you focus on one type of person, you are terrible at marketing. You really want like one type to be your customer? Like that's just dumb.
Unless the one exception to that is if you know that you're only selling to your own. To that one type of person, which in that case, then fine. Keep marketing to that person.
I have some companies in my mind that are like that, but I'm just gonna keep that quiet because that's gonna be in trouble if I mention one of those companies. Don't ask me about that. So basically, what ended up happening is this shop out here by us. They put the letter up, but they call it vandalizing it.
They redacted some of the text.
They redacted and added in order to fit their personal agenda, which makes me laugh because I guess in their mind you're pushing your agenda on us, so I'm gonna rebuke that. I'm gonna post this agenda instead. So now everything I said from the first is the exact same commitment thing that they did, but this time it's what this guy did. So the first part is competition is a part of Magic. So he got rid of the part where it says friendly, stuff like that. Welcome everyone. And then they wrote, our community excludes all kinds of people, which, okay. Play. That's all that. They got rid of everything and just said play. And then the rules, our laws supersedes, I think that's what it means. Our law supersedes all local laws and event rules, which means whoever did this was just like, nah, fam. They don't care about the local rules even. They care about their own rules, which I guess, like I said, the beer pong house rules, whoever owns it has it. I feel like in a tournament, if you don't follow a certain guideline, you shouldn't even qualify for so I feel like that alone, wouldn't that like kind of not let you be qualified to go into bigger tournaments?
Technically, yes.
Yeah, right? You have to follow everyone's rules.
And there were certain cards, if they found them, they inspected every deck. If they saw on that deck that you had banned cards, they said either remove them or you're not joining this tournament.
Basically, what I think this guy who wrote this, I don't know who edited this, but I'm assuming, I don't want to say it's the owner, because if it was the owner that did this, would be
posted there and he left it there.
I mean, we can't confirm that. It was just hanging up at the store.
Yeah.
I'm going to speculate this. I'm going to give my entire opinion about what I think. If it was the owner that posted this, he is a real asshole. Like, honestly. And he's honestly a really bad businessman. Like we just said, they said their rules superseded local laws and event rules. If you're trying to go pro or trying to get notoriety, going to a place that follows their own rules and then you try to go somewhere else that has the broad rules would already put you at a disadvantage. Common sense speaking, I might be wrong, but when I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I went to a tournament once in like Connecticut. I got spanked by like a 9-year-old girl. Everyone was following the same rules as when I went for, say, at the mall. I went to a tournament at the mall once years ago, like a really small one. They followed the same rules and they had the same like banning thing. So when you went from one place to another, you didn't have to change anything in your deck. You're already following the rules. If this place decides that they're going to make their own rules, then it doesn't help you. Like, yeah, you don't want to be a sheep. Like, that's the worst thing in the world to be. But sometimes you have to play the system. You can't just rebuke it completely. You can't just try to go off the grid. It's just so dumb. Especially if you're running a business. Because at the end of the day, Magic the Gathering is letting you sell their product. There are plenty, like, I work for a food distributor. I'm a salesman. And we have product that was carried by Mario Batali. If you don't know Mario Batali, he was a super mega creep. We carried all of his product, and after everything happened, we took everything off the shelf. We had to get rid of it. In my mind, I'm like, obviously we're going to get rid of it because guess what? Someone's going to see me packing out the Mario Batali pasta, and they're going to think negative things about me. Same with the store. Even though I've never met the guy. I don't enjoy what he does because I don't really care about food shows. I know, controversial. But that's just how the mind works. The mind people, especially people that aren't into this stuff, the people that don't look into this stuff on a regular basis like me or Greg, won't understand the main thing, context. And that's what I don't understand what this guy's trying to do. Like,
it's a matter of association.
That's
the problem.
It's so bad. And I get it. Like, you don't want to lose money because some guy in Long Island wants to push his own agenda and fight against you. Like, that guy doing that, like imagine a crazy world where that story got picked up by CNN. CNN picks up garbage. So imagine CNN picked up this story. This one story with this one guy who just cares so much about his personal beliefs about Magic the Gathering that he cost Magic the Gathering so much money. Like, is that a victory to you? Like, is that how you really enjoy the game?
I mean, it doesn't make the game better for a majority of its fans. The majority of fans actually get hurt by that.
Or the employees. The employees get cut. The companies have to make their nut, like, no matter what.
Anyone selling the cards also gets hurt, even if it's not that store.
There's a middleman, just like what I do for food supermarkets. There are people whose jobs are straight up to work as distributors for these places. And they get hurt. And they're probably on commission. And so because you wanted to stop the fun police from attacking your business, you would let the world burn just for that. Like, is that really being cool? Man, leaving this window open and I feel like somebody's having a barbecue. You smell that?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be hungry all freaking this whole rest of the podcast. So now, back to this. I'm gonna be reading the regular rules for World of Warcraft. I'm gonna be rewriting. I'm gonna be looking. Let's analyze these rules, not commitment to each other from Magic the Gathering people. Put fun first. Competition is a part of Magic, but win or lose, we keep it friendly, respectful, and fun. What I don't understand is to rebuke these rules. Basically, what a lot of these guys really comes down to, they think that their freedom of speech is like an absolute, guarantee, which it is, but it's not free of like consequences. So when I see somebody writing something like this, it basically says like, with each rule, it's like, we want you to be respectful and fun. And they're like, no, we don't want to be respectful and fun. This is competition. It's just like, who's going to compete?
You do have your competitive players, but even the competitive players understand that without the fun of the game, with the other players that play it for fun, they wouldn't have a game to begin with.
It's just, I think, to sum it up, when it comes to like what I think personally, what it comes down to is, so I just want to wrap this section up, is the simple fact that these people are saying that they are fun policing what they can and can't say. If you feel like you're being oppressed, we're going to use the word that these idiots use. If you feel like you're being oppressed by somebody who says, hey, can you just be respectful to each other, be friendly? Like, if you lose, like, you don't have to, like, be, like, don't say anything crazy. Don't say, go nuts. Like, if you think that is fun policing, like, what is your consideration of fun? You know what I mean? It's just like, if I'm versing somebody in a card game and they're black and I just drop the N-bomb on him, like, and then someone yells at me for doing that, is that fun for you? Like, is that why you're fighting this?
There's a certain line that I
like,
think
what are you
even
fighting?
That rule, there are certain rules you just shouldn't cross. It's a certain lines.
It's so crazy. They're like, you shouldn't be respectful, friendly, or fun. Like, you can call, like, I guess you can call someone fat. I mean, call me fat. I really don't care. But say to somebody else, I mean, that is pretty disrespectful. You might as well, But like, it's kind of stupid. And then welcoming everyone. So it says they welcome some. So who are you not welcoming in? Like, you didn't make that like explicitly, explicit. Granted, the next story kind of makes it who you don't really like. My favorite one though is the respect your play environment, because that rule is, but look, respect your play environment is saying each of us helps maintain a clean and safe environment. They're basically telling the store that you should probably keep the store clean, and they're like, no. Like, they crossed out that entire thing. They crossed out respect your play environment. Each of us helps maintain a clean and safe environment for all. They're like, no, we don't want it to be clean or safe. We don't like that. Which is why I don't think it was the owner. Because I'm trying to picture an owner that would vandalize a sign saying, not only do we not keep this place safe or clean, if someone is rude to you, that's allowed. They can say whatever they want to you, no matter what. And we don't have to welcome anybody. Like, how are you? That's why I really can't imagine that being the owner. Yeah. That's so stupid.
I mean, yes, I am going to give the credit of the doubt to the owner that they didn't do such a thing.
I really hope it wasn't him.
I really hope not.
It's so bad. And they're like, follow the rules. I'm like, of the game. I think they're following the rules of the game. And they're like, nah, our laws are like, what are you, Mad Max? Like in like the Fury Road against the people that help you make money? What are you doing? That's so stupid. That's not how you... This is why, like, obviously I'm not sitting here saying that Magic the Gathering gives a shit who plays their game. They just want everyone to play it because of money. And then this clown, whoever puts this up, because like, he obviously can't understand business in general. There's no way this guy understands business if this is what he did. So there's got to be some naive kid who just like thinks that he's being edgy, which then brings us to the next thing. Because in the same place, they had on the wall, which I had was it Reddit? This guy in the Magic the Gathering world, somebody found an image that the store had a Kekistani or Kekistan flag. Now, obviously, you're thinking to yourself, Alex, Greg, whoever's editing the video, probably me. Why haven't you put the flag up? Because a lot of people, they don't like this flag, and I don't want to be flagged for anything. So I'm not going to be putting a picture of the flag up. I'm looking at it right now. You can search for it yourself. But be aware. I'm not going to say trigger warning because it is just a flag. But what ends up happening is somebody posts a picture that they do have a Kekistan flag. And for those of you who don't know the history of it, it was something I can actually, because most people on the Reddit, when they talked about it, they said that this is like started by the alt-right. We did research on Know Your Meme, the website that basically just,
they give the actual origin of the memes without any type of political background to it and how it started that way.
Yeah, because Know Your Meme is basically kind of like Urban Dictionary, Wikipedia. You can put your own thing, but I kind of trust the people that are really heavy online to talk about the online. Like if CNN or Fox covers something like this, they have no idea what they're looking at, and then they end up saying stupid stuff. So whenever it comes to memes and stuff, and you don't really get it, I'd suggest going to Know Your Meme. So here it says origin on 4chan, which is
very toxic site.
I'll say it's a fun site, I guess, because you see there's some intelligent conversation that goes on in there, but there's also a lot
of toxic things on the site too.
Yeah, because it's very anonymous. That's the thing. It's not like it's like Reddit is. It can be bad, but Reddit is much more monitored. 4chan and 8chan. Well, 8chan is the next level, but like 4chan's pretty moderate compared to like 8chan. The name Kekistan is basically what they did was is a fictional country invented by users on 4chan, the politics board, as the tongue-in-cheek ethnic origin of shitposters, known as Kekistanis, who worshipped the ancient deity Kek. In late January 2017, Kekistan became widely circulated on Twitter following its promotion by YouTuber Sargon of Akkad. So it's basically one giant joke, but it is a joke that some people view it as a joke. Some people, like, when it comes to trolls and stuff, or shitposters are basically trolls, right? When it comes to those guys, it seems like they like to hide behind, like, there's a very easy defense what they do, because every time somebody says something edgy or somebody says something that's pretty messed up, they always say it's sarcastic. You know the context. You need to know the context. You need to know the context. You need to know the context. The context is these trolls mobilize, and I feel like if half these internet people got together, they could really just cure cancer instead of spending all their time.
They turned it into something that it definitely was not supposed to be.
These cats could do something sick with like the real world and do some real like good stuff, but instead they'd rather just found a fake nation in order to say, like, if you want to say something anti-Jewish, you can trace it back to this, and then it's just a joke technically, which I think is kind of weak. I think a troll or anybody that likes to talk shit, it should always be direct to your face. I respect that more than people that go out of their way to create a fake nation as a fallback. I think that's kind of lame, personally. I know it's like the 2019 people use the internet for stuff, but I just like the good old days of going up to somebody and being like, I don't like you.
And the other thing too, you have to remember now with the internet is they think they're anonymous,
and
so they do anything and everything to make it what they want. Yeah. You take it out of context and turn it to something that's either great and good, or something that's terrible. Which is what happened to this.
Or what the guy like from the quartering, what he does is every video that he does has two sides, which I'm not going to say they're right or wrong. It's based on opinion for each side. I could literally go and make a rebuttal video with everything that he said and turn the argument around, and would be a waste of my time, because he'd say I was wasting my time. What was it that he said in one of those videos? One of those internet, like the people that were bored and were like digging through the internet to like get evidence against him or some shit. And meanwhile, this mother trucker put out like straight up 10 Captain Marvel videos about how it's terrible and stuff before he even saw it. When you're a hater, online, the defense is always like, yo, you spend all your time just trying to do that, you're a loser. And then when you go to your YouTube channel and you have 20 videos about the same thing, and almost all of it is out of context, and you act like, and the worst is like he acts like he's
his exaggeration in his voice too.
He's also a terrible actor. But I will say one thing that I like about him, I guess, is like I said earlier.
I do respect the fact that he's willing to say what he wants without any consequences.
Which is but at the same time, like if like right now we're doing the same thing. I'm talking to a camera.
But if it's influencing other people to do things that aren't right, that's crossing the line.
Yeah, if he were to somehow respond to this, if he were to say something like, oh, they're just trying to get my subscribers. No, I don't want your subscribers. He's just saying, oh, you're just trying to get attention. I'm like, he's half right. I'm trying to get attention, but this stuff really does ruin gaming for me.
The discussion needs to be made about this topic in general. So
yeah. So then this Kekistan country, the flag was being held during the Charlottesville rally where unfortunately somebody lost their life. So a lot of people were like upset, but this flag was flying in that location with the Magic the Gathering where they already rebuked all the rules and pretty much said we're gonna exclude a lot of people. We're not gonna be friendly. We're not gonna clean, I guess, the store. I guess. And I guess they're not safe. So if they're not cleaning and not safe, if I went there and dropped a bunch of glass, I guess they would just leave it there to prove a point. I don't know if that's where, it's like, we're not clean or safe. So we're going to leave broken glass everywhere because we're edgy. Like, I don't know what that, I still don't get. Like, it still bugs me. So they found this flag flying there and people really felt offended. And everybody was just like, that guy, the quartering was just like, that's a lie. That's not how the flag originated. And it's true. We just told you that the flag didn't originate because of people that were alt-right, or I don't want to say conservative or Republican. They say alt-right. It wasn't them that started it, which is true. Well, it could have been, but not all of them. Some people just like to make jokes, and nowadays you can't really make a joke without getting in trouble, and that does suck. It does, jokes are jokes, but I feel like these are next level jokes where like some people like I'm half Hispanic and I grew up with whoever. A lot of people didn't know I'm half Hispanic because I look pretty much white. I do look almost exactly like the quartering guy. I don't even know his name. I don't care. And I grew up half Hispanic. I've only been like racisted against like twice, so I don't really know how that feels. But I like 100%, like just for like existing. But these guys now, like they act like they're being oppressed and stuff, and they just try to like they want to say whatever they want to say, and it's just crazy that they go through such extreme lengths to cover themselves. Like it's just so crazy. Like this, like Magic the Gathering just wants the store not to do stuff like that because it's not good for business. This guy's arguing back like, I'm gonna keep this flag up. I don't care. Freedom of speech. And I'm like, this mob of like, white supremacists. And I don't know what they consider themselves, but there were Nazi flags there. You can't blame the fake media news. They were there. Those flags were not like those flags were there. Obviously, it's going to be easier to think that that's not good stuff. But then what my other question would be, like, if that doesn't represent white nationalism and like hating different races and ethnicities, they say it's like a troll or like it's basically sarcasm. They don't really believe in that. If you're marching with the other people,
that means you're saying you believe in everything they say.
Yeah,
because you're standing with them.
Unless you're willing to say that you were there to mess with them, to troll them. It's like a really like you can't make a fake country, make a flag, which the flag alone is very fucking. It's pretty obvious what it is.
I mean, if you've ever taken history, like I told Alice before, it actually covers all the bases. I mean, I'm not going to go into details about it, but if you actually
it's a Nazi, it's a friggin' Nazi flag, but it's like it's like a sarcastic Nazi flag that people use. Like it's so weird. It's you can't show this flag at that rally, a unite the white or whatever, unite the right with neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and then say, nah, it doesn't have anything to do with that stuff. It's just a joke. How do you say that? And then this guy, the quartering, the worst thing he does is he goes, and this is what everybody does when it comes to this stuff. They're like, oh, the liberals are scared of a flag. Oh, the flag. Oh, that acting was twice as better as his acting. As like, no, nobody gives a damn about your damn flag. It was hanging out with a bunch of people talking about how like Jews are bad and black people are bad. It's not like it's your favorite word in the world. It's context. That's what it is. I love that every argument that these mother truckers have, especially the quartering, it's so hypocritical. He's like, oh, they're on here crying like babies. What the hell are you doing? What the hell? Like everybody that does this crap, like, yo, we can play video games. We can knock on them for messing up, on the developers. We can make fun of some people that want to be jerks. But like when you go out of your way to attack everybody and then do it in such a way where you then back down because, if a celebrity were to come up to him and say like, what were you saying? He would back down immediately. Oh no, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. That's what I'll do, man. Every troll, the second they're confronted, they just back down. It's so dumb to just spend your life doing that shit. And then they act like the victim. Like, dude, you can't just do that and not like, what you're doing. What you're doing.
They don't take credibility for what they say, and
it's
your actions.
They never take fault. if I do something stupid, I always take ownership of it. I always like, I would never lie. Like there's no point of it because it's like, it's so frustrating having to keep, I used to lie when I was a child to the point where when I was like 18, 19, my dad was still bringing it up to me like, oh, you're lying about this. You're lying. He's like, you used to lie all the time when you were little. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to stop lying so you can't say that anymore. And then he kept saying that. I'm like, oh my God, what is the point? Lying sucks. It's like, you have to just keep making up more lies. Like, that's all they do. They make up all these excuses. They're so stupid and lame, man.
Once you make one lie, you lose all credibility for the truth when you do speak it. That's the problem.
Now to quickly, before all, I can imagine some of the haters already typing stuff. Let's go into why some of the other side sucks. Like some like feminists, some people on, you know, the more liberal. These fans that just bug out about like little problems, and then like what I love is like they talk to everybody like, oh, you're a feminist. You're a cuck. First of all, if you're into being a cuck, cool for you. I've heard that our actual people that are into that stuff, good for you. They're just living their best lives. But a lot of people, I just love it. You try to be a guy trying to like defend somebody, like go and say like, my favorite thing though with this whole Captain Marvel thing, especially with the quartering, was like that Brie Larson is racist and sexist. And I'm just like, those words would not have existed if it wasn't for like everything that happened in the history of the world. like it's just so like with racism, what cracks me up about racism is like these dudes, like I sometimes feel like they're so jealous of minorities that they think that being able to call somebody a racist is like some kind of superpower. And they so like it really like I love it when they call Brie Larson racist. I'm like, it's not all white people. But what cracks me up about that is the fact that they think that it's just the words that make you be able to say that somebody's being racist, when it's not the words, it's the history. I personally, as half white, half Hispanic, I don't hold white people like, I don't consider the same, like, just because you're white doesn't mean that you believe in that stuff. But I also feel like there's just this section of like, and it's mostly in gaming and stuff about nerd stuff. Because I don't hear any like I don't hear a lot of people like, when I'm out and about, they would never think that somebody is being racist when they said that like the white dudes are annoying. It's just the people online, because automatically when you're online, for the most part, unless you're like, I don't know anybody's name that I can mention that's like completely dead inside. When you call out somebody for being racist and you're white, it's like, you don't understand racism. Like, you don't get it. You don't understand why it's a problem. And that's what a lot of think that is also the problem. Gamers nowadays, I see it on like iFunny and stuff, saying like gamers are oppressed. I'm like, I hope that's sarcastic, because they're really not. Like, video game companies give us what we want for the most part, or we bully them. Like, and I think
we the fans say we want something, and then when they give it to us,
we want more.
We just like, oh, that's not what we wanted. That's not what we wanted. And
yeah,
that's what we've been asking for all this time.
I think I think Fallout 76 is the greatest example of that, because there was like so many people, like when Fallout 4 came out, I remember this, all the articles. Why haven't they have it online yet? Why don't they have it online?
All the fans said we wanted a multiplayer. We want to be able to play together.
And then now you see all these articles. We didn't ask for this. We didn't like it. The reason why is because it didn't come out perfect. But then again, like, it didn't come out perfect, but what game does now? The demand is so crazy and the backlash is so quick to where game companies have to keep releasing games. Like, it almost seems like where now, because of the nerd outrage that happens and because of people getting so mad about everything, that companies need to keep pumping out games just to make that little money, just to survive and make up for those losses. Like,
and not only that, the development time that it comes with each game, they've got to generate revenue.
Yeah,
and it's getting more expensive. And as we talked before, we said before that the cost of video games has not gone up.
Yeah, the retail price in America anyway, for the most part, unless for the collector's editions and stuff, they have been at $60 since I was a kid, and I think 3DS games are still at $40 too. And there's some 3DS games that are probably worth $60, but they're still at $40. I think that I've seen some people say, I personally believe that because of microtransactions and stuff that they've been able to avoid raising the prices. But a lot of people that, like, at the same time, I think that could be a reason. The other part of the people think that, no, it's just money. And I'm like, it could be. I mean, it's always going to be about money. But you got to understand, like, if we all, like EA, if we all just, like, say we boycotted their games, no microtransactions, no nothing, right? And they went under. Does the executive, the guy that makes those decisions, like, does he suffer? No.
He's got a parachute.
He's gonna have.
He's
He's got so much money.
Yeah.
He could start like 3 or 4 studios.
And not only
with
that,
the money that the guy makes.
everyone always forgets that he has to answer to investors because it is a publicly traded company. Yeah. Whereas EA's games are basically controlled by the investors, and they were unhappy with the amount of money that for Battlefield.
Battlefield 5 made right, because of the nerd outrage for that one, because there was a woman with a hook.
Yeah, and Activision wasn't happy with the Call of Duty sales either. With they thought their Battle Royale mode would sell more. Yeah. So,
but that again, that one didn't expect Apex. Everyone's just so quick to try to like shit on everything. It's so crazy to me that like people just don't get it. I mean, you guys are outraged about Diablo Immortal, which for the most part is very well deserved. They could have they could have handled it differently,
right?
But say you guys don't buy it and you don't play it and you don't spend money on it and whatever. And I'm not saying you have to, but say you just start boycotting everything. The companies that you love are going to lose money. They're going to lose jobs. People are going to lose their jobs. We're going to get less games. Sometimes it comes down to like causing nerd outrage isn't bad inherently, but like just don't buy the game. You send people send death threats out. They like, oh God, it's so disgusting.
Yeah, as fans, we need to send our message with our wallets, not with...
Stop getting mad and then like threatening people. Just don't buy the damn game. Just straight up.
Don't get me wrong. Blizzard did handle that incorrectly.
Horribly.
I love the Diablo series. Mm-hmm. I played them all, and when that fan came up there and said, "Is this a joke? Is this an April Fool's joke?" I mean, I felt what he was feeling. I mean, we were expecting another PC game, but instead you went mobile. I know that's the way things are going today.
Yeah, that makes sense. Getting mad, but you're shitting on the people that sit there for years making that game.
Yeah, we as fans sometimes forget that these people take hours and hours and hours and months of their lives just working on one little pixel to make it perfect for the demand that the company is asking for, and we forget that.
And then also
we need to respect them more. Honestly,
and then it needs to be like, it has to be symbiotic, like a Venom kind of situation. Like people view things like, we need to talk shit to these people because of this. We need to punish them because of this. It's just like, you're punishing. Like when you do all these things, you are literally punishing the wrong people. That's honestly what you're doing.
And in the end, you're punishing yourself, because now
you got less games.
Let's say example-wise that Blizzard goes down because no one bought the next game. Yeah. Now there'll be no more World of Warcraft. There will be no more Diablo. There will be no more StarCraft. Some of the most beloved series that they ever had.
And that's something that like it obviously wouldn't happen in like even in our generation per se, but that could happen. Like there are plenty of studios that close down. I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't mind if EA closed down, but EA would also close down Respawn. Granted they'll never close down. Look at Nintendo. It's just crazy to me. I think that we as fans like should like nerd rage and like agenda pushing with like this other guy, the Quartering, they've been talking about, that YouTube guy. It's just like all of that together like culminates into making gaming just so hard to get into and stay. And like there's so many times you want to just sit down and play a game, and it's just like you see all these things online and you see all these people just crapping, like you see everybody just ruining video games and then blaming everybody but themselves. It's so dumb. Like that business, like that I can imagine that business that put up the Kekistan flag thing because he wanted to prove a point about free speech. Like I can imagine that guy lost a bunch of money, and then this guy, the Quartering, starts like a GoFundMe for the guy. I mean, if you're more conservative, right? I'm assuming that the Quartering is more conservative, so he makes a GoFundMe. He takes people's money and gives it to this company. This store. Isn't that kind of like anti-capitalistic? Giving out handouts to like kind of like. Don't they not like that? Like conservative people, they're not like if someone has a business, it's part of America. If someone has a business and they decide to run it the way that with their personal agenda attached to it, and it fails, it's not anybody's fault but that guy's. That it's his fault, honestly. If we run a business and it's just how it is. If we want to make a business and we want to start a store and we decide, hey, we're going to alienate a ton of different people because we don't like what they do and represent, and then the store closes. It's like the Pikachu meme, the surprise Pikachu meme. Like bands have to be like, why would I want to go to this place? I'm Hispanic. I would like, why, like if he didn't like different people, different nationalities, why would I go there? So like, And then and then this guy's raising money for this guy. Like, you're like, what are you talking about? And somehow you're right in all this. Like, it's so stupid. Like, the whole argument, like this whole culture really needs to shift. And that's why me and Greg, mostly myself in the beginning with this channel, I just want to push things. Like, I want to be like, maybe we don't have to get mad about everything. Maybe we can just let the games speak for themselves. Maybe we don't have to send death threats to everybody because
I think what we need to do is stop politicizing and instead of taking something out of context.
Yeah.
Just take it as it is and say, okay, this is what it's meant to be. Let's not turn it into something, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I always bring up the guy, what's his face, Armand White. He did a review for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and he said it was all about, like, in his mind when he watched that movie was anti-white, and it was like all about pushing a Obama era agenda. It's like, what? I could want like, if I really wanted to, like, and this is what I love about the quartering. If I could probably write and figure out everything he does and take everything out of context and make my own channel where I do exactly what he does, because what he does does not require that much intelligence. You just have to see something and then only believe in what you believe. Keep your mind so closed, where it's like you're wearing, like, he wears glasses and they're like the same frame as mine. Ironically, like, it's like if your glasses are, you cover one eye, you're only watching half the movie. If you go in there and only think one side, you're only going to see that one side. And you're going to spend the rest of your life just hiding from understanding any position. It's so stupid to think like that. And honestly, and we're going to close this whole podcast, whatever we end up calling it, by saying one thing. When I went to see Captain Marvel, and I think there's a video that came out around this time, and I'm going to say this story again. When I went to see Captain Marvel, after all of this stupid nonsense with she's racist, she's sexist, she's anti this, anti that, after all of that, and people saying, and about what pissed me off more than anything was just people acting like that was going to be what the movie was about. At the end of the day, we went to go see the movie, and they had that beginning tribute for Stan Lee. And I'm sure if you guys go see this movie, you'll see that same exact thing, where they replaced all the heroes from the beginning intro thing, the Marvel credit thing, and they made it all into Stan Lee. Beautiful, amazing tribute that they did, and it said, "Thank you, Stan." Behind me, there was a daughter and her mom, and the daughter was kind of like making fun of her mom because she was just like, "Mom, are you crying?" Because she saw the Stan Lee thing, and she was legitimately sitting there crying, like, she's like, "This guy was so great, this guy was so nice, like, he gave us all this stuff." Like, I just get really emotional, and I'm sitting there going to myself, "That's a real fan. That's not somebody, like, you don't have to know that, like, the movie is different than the comics. Knowing these things, like, thinking that you're, like, I was going to say the word, I guess, that they use, intellectual, and you know that what, like, in your mind you think that, like, this is different from the comics because of this is different from this, like, it should just follow the comics, blah, 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 blah. You're not a real fan of Stan. Stan Lee and Marvel Comics is artwork. Every movie is art, and it's transformative. Things change with the times. In your mind, you don't want to change with the times. That's what it comes down to. So you can call yourself a fan because you're boycotting Captain Marvel, because you think it's going to have messages that you don't like and you want to boycott them and say that you're a real fan. I'm going to say that the lady that's there spent her money, brought her daughter, and was crying at the sight of Stan Lee. I'm going to say she's a real fan. Not you that wants to just start problems and push political agendas. And that's all I have to say about this. Any closing comments?
I would like to say, as a comic book fan myself, I loved Captain Marvel because I understood they had to change with the times. And if you can't understand that, that's fine. But that's not the film for you. But that is the storyline going forward. And if you can't accept that, I feel sorry for you. Yeah,
that's just how it is, man. You know that movie and most comic books going into movies, like, movies need to have timelines and, years. If you try to translate a comic book straight into a movie and you decide to ignore years and time, it's going to become a complete mess. And people already are confused as it is with timelines. And this is going to be even worse. So this is just so everyone can enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, Stan Lee wanted everybody in the world to enjoy Marvel movies. Plain and simple. So it ain't just about you as the individual sitting on your couch bitching about this movie and what Brie Larson said. That he don't care about you. You know why? Because he technically does still care about you, but he cares about everybody watching, no matter who you are, where you are.
And they have to make these films for everyone. It's
Yeah.
not just for one person.
Yeah. So what are you upset that they made it for everybody, not for you? That's pretty selfish and lame. Not for nothing. Thank you for joining us on this. Like I said, I don't know what we titled this. This is a zombie video of us just airing out our grievances. I guess you can call it a podcast, but we're probably not going to ever release some sort of podcast, at least not for a while. If you stuck around, thank you for sticking around. Shout out to my boy Jesus, not the myth, an actual guy named Jesus who I work with, who probably listened to this entire thing. And thank you for liking, subscribe, comment down below to start a conversation. Don't just comment that I'm fat or have a beard. Trust me, I did not wake up surprised that I'm fat and have a beard. And the quartering, if you're here and you're still listening, which I'm sure that if you were to see this video, you'd only watch and
He'd probably just take excerpts of this entire podcast or whatever they're calling this.
and just want to
And
talk.
just turn it his own way.
Let me know if you want to talk. Goodbye, people. Now, remember, as always,
Be a nerd,
not a dick. I'll talk to you guys soon.